Get your ass up, Lucky Charms. I like my fish wet and squirming.
I thought I was dreaming.
You are
You almost drowned me, nigga.
Oh, you dreaming. It's a wet dream.
Wet dream? Nigga, wait a minute. I'm a pimp. You lost your mind. What the hell? Am I in prison? Hold on. Down. Bishop.
Anybody knows where that's from? That's Friday After Next.
Yes, it is.
So we're back with another episode.
Yes, we are.
And today we're going to be talking about Mr. Katt Williams' interview on Shay Shay Show.
Oh, yeah. That was a good interview.
It was. It's about as long as one of our episodes.
It was longer than our episode, dude. It was like 3 hours long.
Like 240, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
That was a really good interview, though.
Oh, yeah. When he was talking about, like, he just was all, I mean, he went after a lot of people, so.
Yeah. So welcome back to another episode of Few Beers in a Shot.
Yep.
We're going to be going over Katt Williams' Unleashed.
Yes, he's airing out. He's cleaning out some dirty laundry, and we'll be cleaning out the fridge with some of our beer because we have a stockpile from our holiday episodes that we got to get rid of and fill the fridge with new stuff for more episodes to come.
Yes. So without further ado, we're going to pop these bad boys open so we can drink and get right into the
Katt
minutia.
Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll be doing Sam Adams Holiday White Ale.
And I'm doing Old Fizzy Gig. Sam Adams.
Old Fezziwig.
Fezziwig.
Old Fizzy Gig.
Fizzy Gig. That's Katt's Phil's.
Cat's Phil's?
Phil's Katt's.
Man.
Phil and Heather's Katt's names. Fuzzle and Fizzgig, and I forgot the other one.
Fizzgig?
Yeah. We got those Dr. Evil cats.
Oh, those things?
Yeah.
Can't like the ones that look just like a rat?
Kind of.
Like no hair?
Yeah.
No hair, just look like a wrinkled ball sack.
Don't talk about their cats, man. People are very protective of their pets.
I'm allergic to cats, and I can't stand cats.
Well, those are hypoallergenic.
I'd still be allergic to them. Any cat that comes by me, dude, I get itchy and my eyes start like watering and like swelling up right away. Oh. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So anyway, here's to clearing out the fridge.
Here's to Katt Williams. That's good shit.
Old Fezziwig's good?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I had a couple over the few days that we weren't on the air. I was watching TVs on my projector now.
Watching TVs? Watching TVs on your projector?
I was watching my stories, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give a little bit of history on this little interview that happened a couple days ago. Katt Williams, he did a no-hold-back interview during a nearly 3-hour podcast with Shannon Sharpe on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Yeah. Some of the biggest bombshells the comedic genius dropped during the interview were accusing Steve Harvey of stealing his jokes, his recollection of Kevin Hart's rise to fame, and speaking out about an alleged incident with the Illuminati involving Ludacris. I didn't get to that part. So
I did. Yeah. I saw
I saw most of it, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep just because I was just really tired.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'll just jump into that because I don't remember verbatim, but I think it was either him or Kevin Hart. They were like one of them two, and I think it was Ludacris because it was right at the time. You know how Ludacris used to have the afro and the pointy sideburns. Mm-hmm. They said like once you're in, you can't have none of that shit. And you look at him now on Fast and the Furious, 13 through whatever. And he's all like clean cut and shit.
I know he just did a Christmas movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did that one too a while back. It wasn't a Christmas movie, but it was the one with Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman. I think it was Just Friends.
Okay.
Or No Strings Attached. One of those two. The one because the other one was Mila Kunis with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And it was like the same story.
That was Friends with Benefits, wasn't it? The one with Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
But it's essentially the same movie. Just in like a few things changed. But yeah, and he was like clean cut in that one too. That's where he was like, Mary. What was his line on that one? Happy holidays. Ashton Kutcher's taking like he's all drunk and he was heartbroken by Natalie Portman and he's all getting with the hose. So Ludacris is taking a picture of him. He's like, Happy holidays.
Happy holidays?
Yeah, happy holidays.
Yeah, dude.
But
So
yeah.
get into that interview. Like I like like right off the bat when he was talking about Kevin Hart, and he was
Oh, dude, that
he's like,
was.
man, Kevin Hart was talking about selling out all these shows on the West Coast. He goes, I never saw Kevin Hart out here. He's an East Coast comic who never came out west.
Well, he also said he's like nobody ever heard of a sold out Kevin Hart
Yeah,
show,
out in California.
and I'm sure there's a lot of Kevin Hart fans out there. So I was yesterday I had like an hour-long conversation with my buddy Lucas that I used to work with. He really cool dude. He wants to be on the show one day, so shout out to Lucas. We'll have you on one day, bud. But yeah, we were talking about that, and he's like a huge conspiracy theory. Like he's all into that shit. Like he doesn't everything with a grain of salt, you know. Like
Yeah.
he just likes the topics, you know,
Mhm.
like Bigfoot and flat Earth and all that stuff. So we were talking about that stuff, and I was breaking down the interview for him because he's like, I saw bits and pieces of it, you know, shorts, kind of like what I do. You know, you just jump on shorts, and if it's something interesting, you're like, oh, I got to dive into this.
Yeah.
So I was telling him about it, and he was kind of like, well, Kevin Hart didn't just come out of nowhere. I'm like, yeah, but if you think, I was telling him, I was like, if you think about it, he had very few minor roles, and next thing you know, he's like the star of like 10 movies,
Mhm.
and he had his own fucking like interview show that he did with the like the wine thing where
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg called him out for telling Don Cheadle he was old and shit, and he was like everywhere he went, he was with The Rock, who was like big everywhere too.
Oh yeah.
For
He was just piggybacking off of The Rock, being in all his movies.
well, I don't know who's piggybacking off of who at that point.
Nah, but The Rock had all that fame, dude, from wrestling and everything.
Yeah, like he okay, so he paid his dues, right? He had a long career in wrestling. Still wrestles, probably.
No, he just shows up every now and then. He'll come
Just-
in.
He'll
He'll come in
to talk shit.
He'll
like
come in,
Stone
talk
Cold.
shit. He'll knock somebody out and be like, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," and then he'll just walk away.
If you smell what Grandpa Rock is cooking,
Yes.
he's in the kitchen. Cooking some fucking HGH.
But actually, we were talking about it the other day, weren't we? Like when we're talking about his stand up, like Kevin Hart's stand up or his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather watch his movies
Than a stand-up.
than his stand up.
Well, I've never seen a Kevin Hart stand-up, to be honest.
I tried.
It just
He
well, here's the thing. So my thing is, this was after the Katt Williams. Like it wasn't like I got brainwashed and he opened my eyes, but it was like you pay more attention to things, you know.
Yep.
And I was like, he's right, you know, to a certain degree, in where you look at Kevin Hart and he's just loud.
Mm-hmm.
He's put in the comedic situations. He himself is not funny. He's just thrown into comedic situations,
Yes.
you know. And he knows how to roll with it. But he himself is not like you can't sit and watch him tell a joke like Bernie Mac would sit and tell a joke. Like one of the greatest fucking
Yeah, no.
comics ever.
He gets annoying after a while.
Yeah.
Just listening to him talk. Except he's not really funny in that new Netflix movie I told you about. He's funny, but it's more of like a
He's trying to be a serious role.
I wouldn't even say serious, but it's just more. It's more along the lines of like
Story driven.
like an Ocean's 11 type thing. Like there's humor, but that's not the forefront of it.
Right, kind of
But-
like, you know, Ocean's 11 had humor. Bernie Mac.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
was-
It had a similar feel to that, where like there's jokes in it, but it wasn't a full-fledged comedy.
Right. Okay. I can see that. But then again, like we said, he's put into comedic situations.
Oh yeah,
Like I think I saw what was that movie he did with The Rock out of the 20 that he's done with him? Like
Jumanji.
No, but that was one of the beginning ones where it was like, you're just annoying, dude. And no, it was Central Intelligence.
Oh okay.
That
yeah.
was just horrible, dude. Like in my opinion, you know.
Yeah.
I just didn't. That movie did nothing for me. And the CGI with The Rock being fat in high school, I was like, they couldn't just do like what they did with Just Friends and put him in a fat suit. You know, like Ryan Reynolds looked like he was actually fat. It was
He couldn't
fucking
fit
funny
in the
as hell.
fat suit, dude. He's like, this fat suit will break if I move. Like, can't do it.
My triceps will rip out of these little arms.
Exactly. So he
It's like,
couldn't.
no,
he
dude,
couldn't
you're
do it.
supposed to be. I don't know, but that CGI just looked horrible. Like, if you saw, You saw Captain America,
Yeah.
the first Avenger. Like the CGI they do with fucking Chris Evans.
That was terrible too.
It was terrible, but it was better than that.
Yeah, but it was still pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
Like his head he looked like a bobblehead doll. Like his head was not fit to go on that body.
True.
Like they should have had just somebody else play him as the little guy,
Yeah.
and then he turned into himself. Like his whole face changed, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? It's me,
Like, I
Steve."
grew cheekbones and
Yeah.
I grew like a huge jaw.
Not like, hey, you have this chiseled face on this whippy ass body,
Yeah.
and then it's just your body morphs into what it should be.
Because he was just looking for the right partner.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Kevin Hart lashed out pretty hard on, or Katt Williams lashed out pretty hard on Kevin Hart, which is apparently now.
Well, dude, I have to say, like, there was 40-year-old version,
He had like 5 seconds.
and no, but I'm saying like that's the first time I remember ever seeing him.
He was in Scary Movie 3.
No, and then it was just like
Small role.
boom,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's like what? Well, he didn't do anything that made you want to be like, wow, this is insane.
Like this guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like that. Like in Scary Movie 3, he was I can't remember his name. I think it's Anthony something. He was the dude he was one of the sons from Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
He was and that dude's always been funny, and like you could tell that dude's always been a side character. And I think it wasn't until he made a show, I think it was like Blackish, that he was like actually a star.
Anthony Edwards. Yeah.
But he's done he's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
He's had like fucking 20 years of being some side character
Mhm.
before they like boom, now like Mr. Illuminati over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Anthony Edwards was in a lot of stuff as that other guy.
Yeah.
And then he blew up.
But he was never the token black guy.
No, but dude, Blackish is a good show. I
know.
I love that
No,
show.
dude, that dude is funny.
Yes.
Like you watch him, he's funny. Kind of like I know Katt Williams kind of bashed out on Aries Spears, but Aries Spears is funny too.
Yeah.
He's not super funny, but he is funny.
Yeah, he's alright.
Just because he's like right now he's like angry funny, kind of like he's like a Black Bill Burr kind of like he's just like angry like all these hipsters come out like LeBron's better than Jordan. He's like shut the fuck up.
He's the one that does all the impressions too, right? Isn't that Aries Spears? Or am I thinking of?
He does a couple.
Yeah.
He does do a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's funny. Like if he broke out, I'd be like, oh, I remember him from Mad TV. Like,
who was the dude that he was talking about in the interview from Friday After Next?
Ricky Smiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
He was
wearing
the
the
Santa
dress.
Claus?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that dude never wore the dress.
No, he said he wore a dress in a different movie.
Because he's always dressed up as an old lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about they called him up for a movie.
Well, allegedly, Ricky Smiley was saying that like the part was his. It was already given to him.
He was talking about that, but I'm talking about also when he was talking about Katt Williams was talking about how they offered him to do that movie with Martin, and it
Big
was
Mama's House
Big
too.
Mama's House.
He's like,
too.
he already did the dress.
Yeah.
Why is he gonna do it again?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's like a whole other theory too, though.
Well, the whole wearing the dress, yeah.
Yeah, because Chappelle brought that shit out when he did the Oprah Winfrey show when he came back from Africa.
Yep.
And I was just talking about that with Phil. He's like, oh yeah, that's when he came back all swole. Royal. I was like, no, he didn't come back swole. I'm like, he came back and he was still skinny, and everybody thought he was just a crackhead because he.
No, that first special he had.
Yeah, that's when he got swole. But that was was a couple years after.
I know, but I'm saying
Oprah
that first
thing.
Netflix special that came back. It's like, damn, dude, you fucking hit the gym.
So you've been hanging out with The Rock, haven't you?
What else were you doing, man?
Like you turned down weed and found some HGH.
He didn't turn down weed.
I know.
He just laced his weed with some roids.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Cement and water, baby. Just.
Yeah, the whole wearing the dress thing. I'm gonna look that up.
Well, that's I think when.
It's a certain thing though.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage.
Yes.
That's what Chappelle said, because when they were trying to get him to do it, they're like, "Come on, man! All the greats have done it." He's like, "Well, if all the greats have done it, then at this point it's kind of hacky. Let's do something else."
Yeah.
And then they had a scene for him like 10 minutes later. He said, "That was the whole dress thing." And he's like, "Wait, you went and wrote a scene in 10 minutes to change everything?" He's like, "No, dude, that shit was set up. They were trying to get him. He didn't let him, so he got away with just doing something else."
Well, that's why when he also brought up in that interview how like fucking Tyler Perry can't do anything else but wear the dress.
Well, yeah, and he said the same thing about Rick Smiley.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
He's like, those dudes can't get a male role to save their lives.
Yep.
Which is kind of true because I saw a movie with Tyler Perry where he did a Alex Cross movie. You know, the Morgan Freeman did like 2 or 3 of them, and the last one that I saw was like I guess Morgan Freeman was a bit too old for the character, so they got Tyler Perry, and I was like, nah, dude, this dude's not like I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Medea. And I'm probably never gonna because
I never saw. I know that I might have saw one of like the first like ones that came out, but then I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
I'm done with this.
Yeah. Then I watched Big Mama's House.
I saw Big Mama's House one, and it wasn't that great.
No,
like it was, like it had funny moments, but like it like once all that stuff is brought to light, and you're like, oh, they just did it to get him in a dress. You're like, the fuck? You're watching over there.
I don't know. It just came up, dude. And then what was Nutty Professor?
Yeah,
Nutty Professor was all right.
Yeah, but he was doing all the characters. So.
Oh, I know, but he still put on a dress.
True. True. He did. And Katt Williams did touch on that. He's like he played all the characters, so he was the. Oh, I think he got up to the Norbit. Did you see that part?
Yeah.
He's like, that's when like his career died. Yeah. No, that whole interview was wild. But my favorite part was when what's his name?
Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe was kind of like not defending everybody he was ragging on, but he's just like, "Come on, Katt, how are you gonna do him dirty like that?" And then Katt this is one of the best fucking lines I've ever heard. He's like, "You have an unnatural allegiance to losers.
Yeah.
That's not like you." And he takes a sip of his cognac. I was like, that's fucking gangster, dude.
Oh, I know. That was pretty good. I was like, oh, man, he burned him on that one.
Because he just, like, shut him up. He's like, why are you defending these guys? You know? Because he did go on about how...
Well, when you talk about Cedric the Entertainer...
Yeah, he doesn't sing, he doesn't dance.
He ain't funny. He can't entertain.
He went after fucking Steve Harvey hard, too.
Yeah,
like,
Steve.
I think Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey got the worst of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, what's his name? Steve Harvey was stealing this other dude's material, like all of it. I can't remember the name. You'd have to look him up, but...
What was the one he was talking about? His joke...
About the UPS thing?
Was the commercial for the special that was on, and the dude told the same exact joke as the commercial.
Oh, that was I think it was Cedric the Entertainer.
Was that Cedric, or I thought it was...
Right. Yeah, because his joke was it wasn't BET. It was another network, I think. But it was kind of like one of those, to a certain focus group.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was one of the Kings of Comedy, I think, wasn't it?
It might have been. I don't think so.
Because the Kings of Comedy was Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley,
Cedric the Entertainer,
and Bernie Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said, Katt was saying like, after Bernie died, they wanted Katt, but Katt was like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna. He was like, first of all, I'm not gonna disrespect Bernie's spot like that, kind of deal. And second of all, he's like. I don't know if he hates Steve Harvey or what, but like it's true, man. Like that was Steve Harvey's tour, but everybody knew Bernie was the king.
Yeah,
because he was the most entertaining out of all of them. And then right after him was D.L. Hughley, who D.L. Hughley is funny, but Cedric the Entertainer, his humor's like meh. And then Steve Harvey's just like I don't know, his lines just don't land.
See, I don't know. I guess I just didn't follow him so much as a comedian.
Me either, but
I like him better as the fucking host of Family Feud.
Like he did that show where he was like a principal.
Yeah, the Steve Harvey Show. Right? Wasn't it called that too?
Yeah.
And then he had the talk show, the Steve Harvey Show.
But when he did the show where he was like a principal or whatever, that show was stolen like almost to the T from the other dude that he steals his material from.
Yeah.
Because that dude had a show before too. And it was like the same fucking skit.
It's like hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, Mark Cooper?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it wasn't Mark Cooper?
I think that was his name, hanging with Mr. Cooper. I think it was Mark Cooper.
That was the name of the show.
Yeah, but it was. I think his real name was like Mark Cooper.
It might be.
Yeah, hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Cast.
Oh, yeah. Mark Curry.
So allegedly,
I knew it was Mark something.
Allegedly,
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother was in it. Raven Simone, Holly Robinson Pete. Yeah, I remember this show. I love this show. It was a good show.
So allegedly, Steve Harvey's show is like a complete ripoff of Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Really?
Yeah. That's what Katt was going on about.
It was a good show. I like that show.
And this show ran from 92 to 97. Let's see. Steve Harvey show. Was it 92, 97? This one ran from
96 to 02.
Yeah. So it was like, hey, we're going to cancel you because we're going to give it to this guy and he's going to do all your jokes now.
Wow. Lori Beth Denberg was in it?
Yeah. Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, didn't he play his friend or buddy or whatever?
I don't know.
Or like a teacher. Didn't he play a teacher there?
Probably. I never saw them.
I remember watching like 1 or 2 episodes.
But yeah, apparently, and then like they showed the joke side by side and how Mark Curry did this joke about like how when he was growing up they didn't buy him like Halloween costumes, so they just wrapped him in boxes and they're like, oh, just say you're like a UPS packager. And then you see Steve Harvey like years later on, he's telling like a sob story about how his dad never bought him costumes and they just put boxes on him and they would just say like he should just say like he's the UPS guy. So the same joke, just reworded.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. So apparently, and then Mark Curry did an interview and he's like, dude, just quit being a bitch ass, stop stealing my material.
Dude.
Yeah. So it's a lot of.
Yeah, there was a lot to digest in that interview, man.
You have an unnatural allegiance to losers.
And then when he brought up how in the original script for Friday After Next,
he was supposed to get raped,
and he's like, rape is not funny in any context.
Yeah.
And he took it out, and then What's His Nuts was saying how the character was written for him, and he's like, how could it be written for? Yeah, but he's like, how could it be written for you when I wrote all my own lines?
Yeah.
He's like, every line was written by me.
Cube, when like he's like, my name was thrown out there, so I got to say something about it. And he was saying he's like, it was like 20 years ago. He's like, I don't remember exactly what he's like, but we gave the comics, like free reign to do their shit, So it's like the part wasn't really written. It was just like, you're gonna be a pimp, so act like a pimp.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah, and I think he fucking nailed it, dude. Because I just saw the movie a couple days ago, Friday After Next.
He's like, puts the baby powder.
Yeah. Pimp down. Oh, dude, it was
Hey, player.
Oh, thanks, player.
Yep.
Show respect. Dude, he's funny. And then he talks about his he also went on to say about how like Steve Harvey stole his like origin story about his upbringing.
Yep.
And then he told a story about how he was broke when he made that movie, which was his breakout role. I don't want to say he wasn't famous before then because he could have been doing stand up.
Oh, dude, he was. That's why he got the role.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about he had 30. He had over 30 specials or whatever that ranged from Comedy Central, HBO,
BET, and all
BET, and then into Netflix and all the other ones. And that's when he was talking shit about
Faison and Earthquake.
Faison and all of them. He goes, wait, what? How many specials they got? They got none.
Yeah.
They're like, what was it? He's like, Faison. He's like, he couldn't even finish his special.
And Earthquake's illiterate.
Yeah,
he's like, damn, dude. He's like fucking.
He's like, dude. He goes, people weren't even laughing at his special, so they cut it halfway through.
Yeah.
He goes, I have 30.
To take his shirt off, and I'm like, Bert does that.
Yes. But see, Bert's funny, dude.
He's.
All right. But his comedy is one of those. All right, we're getting a little bit off topic about going to Bert Kreischer for a second, but his comedy isn't like a your mama joke or something like that.
No, it's a story.
It's a big story with a punchline.
Yeah.
So that's why, and you really have to be engaged.
Yeah.
In it to like it. Like you can't come into one of his jokes halfway.
Yeah.
If he starts telling a joke, like you need to be there for the whole fucking joke, otherwise you ain't gonna get it. I mean, and I'd rather
call him. What's this movie? The Mechanic.
Yeah, The Mechanic. But I mean, like I would rather but he's funnier than Faison Love.
Oh yeah.
Faison Love was funny in
Friday.
Yeah, and what
messing with my money.
What the fuck? Yeah, but no, the Couples Retreat or whatever it was.
He wasn't funny.
He was all right.
Yeah,
It was funny because he was banging the young hot chick who wanted to go party, and he's just like, "Oh man, I can't do this."
Yeah.
And then wasn't he in
He was in The Replacements.
He was an elf, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he was the guy in charge at the department store, right?
It may have been.
He was because when I'm pretty sure that was, or he was in some Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on load.
Yeah.
He was funny in The Replacements.
Yeah.
Him and the other big dude.
Yeah.
Edward Asner was Santa Claus. I haven't seen that movie in forever, dude.
Oh, dude, it was. I mean, we watched it around Christmas time. The boys didn't really like it that much.
Well, it's because when it's Christmas, there's so many movies.
Oh,
I go to the classics.
I get Christmased out, dude.
Yeah.
Like there was so much. I'm like, oh my god.
But back to Katt.
And then like, let's see what else. He hit on so much shit, dude.
He was in Norbit. Yeah.
Like when he brought up Kanye.
Oh yeah.
About like about
So you guys let him call himself Jesus.
We're pretty awful that we let somebody do all this shit with the mental illness and we don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And we just talk shit about him.
Yeah. That was pretty straightforward though.
Yeah. See, the thing about Kanye West, dude, is that he's been fucked up ever since his mom died.
He's been fucked up ever since he got involved with the Kardashians.
No. His mom died before that, and when
he took a jab at them too.
Oh yeah, but about like the Kanye thing.
Yeah.
Because his mom was his life, dude, and she was a doctor. She was a professor, I think, at UIC or Loyola or something downtown. So she was fucking legit, and he bought the surgery for her that she wanted, and that's where she died. Was that surgery?
It's when he got into the Illuminati, right?
No. This is when dude, what the fuck album was that? Graduation? Was it called Graduation? I think it's called Graduation. Pretty sure it was called Graduation. It was a really good album. But once that was right after that one came out, his mom died, and that's when he went fucking downhill, dude. And it was his mom was his world, and he fucking lost her.
You saying Kim Kardashian was in his world?
No, dude. No, that was probably one of his biggest mistakes, was fucking doing that, dude.
I would say that was his biggest mistake. Not one of. That was the biggest.
Homecoming.
Okay.
So his album Homecoming, that was a badass album. So was Heartless.
Is there any more Fezziwig?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's one or two, maybe one. But yeah, that's when that ruined his life, and he went downhill, and then he sold his soul to be with a Kardashian, and that fucked him up even more because then they kicked him out of the club, and now he's trying to get all this shit back.
Yeah. It's Black Jesus, man. You know? But, Katt Williams did say that he was like, you let a guy with a mental illness call himself Jesus, and then he starts acting the part, and everybody's just like laughing at him. It's like, you guys let him believe that shit.
Yep. Oh, I know, dude. And it was sad how everybody just fucking turned their back on him. Like nobody was like, hey, maybe we need to talk to this dude. Maybe we need to help him.
Man.
They're just like, oh, done.
True. I don't know, man. But
keep out there
that dude definitely. I feel like he needed help at a certain point in his life, obviously, and he didn't get it.
Oh yeah.
And the people he was surrounded by were pariahs.
Yes.
So that was like the worst possible place to be at in that moment in his life.
Well, and and I know we're getting a little bit off topic talking about Kanye, but I mean, as soon as the dude mentioned something about political beliefs that were different than everybody else of his familiarity, everybody fucking dogged him.
Well, here's the thing. My personal opinion, and this goes with,
you should be able to believe and feel whatever you want to feel.
True. But like when it comes to speaking out your politics and whatnot, that's like, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to, like, dude, because this went hard.
But what
I
if
know
he's
we're way off
asked?
topic.
What if he's asked?
If you're asked, it's a different thing. But when you see like fucking Don Cheadle and Scarlett Johansson doing anti-Trump commercials, and I'm not pro-Trump, but I'm not against them either. But when I see them trying to like sway people, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Make Avengers movies, dude. That's what you're good at.
Yes.
You fucking
People who are
what was who did you replace?
People who are actually educated on the topic should be the ones talking about it. The people who have these kind of questions about politics, read about it. Don't listen to what people say on TikTok and Twitter. Well, you can probably listen to Twitter now because now it's more
legit.
It's not fucking controlled where they're pumping only one side of things and changing everything around and
you
everything
thank
else.
Elon Musk in his sink for that.
Yeah, but like, and even bringing up like when I would talk with other people, I'm like, you could just read in books.
Yeah.
And then you could read in like actual articles about what's going on. And even we had a discussion about that when you were all like, no, man, Trump's going to send me back. And I'm like, that's impossible.
I never
like,
said that.
Yes, you did. There was one time we had a discussion about him and you're like, nah, dude. And I'm like, why? He goes, oh, because he could send me back to Mexico. And I'm like, I remember saying like, you're a U.S. citizen, right? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. He can't just take that card away from you. He can't be like, he can't give you the Uno reverse card and be like, oh, that's what you get. Like,
but still, like I know, like we're way off topic. I'm not gonna get into that now.
Oh no, but here, either way, the way that Hollywood and the music industry shunned him, because he said something that he believed in, that's fucked up. You shouldn't bash somebody the way just because they believe in something that's different from what you believe in.
Yeah.
Because then what's the point? What's wrong with? And then if he tried to say anything bad about what those people said, oh, you're wrong. You're mean. You can't say that. You're a bigot. It's like, oh wait, you could drag me through the mud. Yeah. But I can't give you the shit back that you gave to me.
Well, see, that's the shit that like Katt Williams unleashed because there was a lot of people now there's a lot of people clapping back.
Yep.
Like, oh, like, yeah, I don't believe he read like 3,000 books a year when he was in fucking grammar school.
No.
I mean, they could have been children's books maybe, but still, 3,000 a year? I don't even know if there's 3,000 books to read.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
you've been into a library, dude. You can read whatever you want. You read a book about plants.
Like Anthony Jeselnik said, because he's like, respect to him, but he's like, I don't buy that shit, but he's like, a lot of what he said is true. And he hit it on the head.
Well, I mean, you could say you read 3,000 books, but maybe he just reads a lot of information to where he's educated about things. Well, and he's just saying it as a number. Like, man, I read 1 million books this year.
Yeah.
He's not meaning, like, specifically he read 1 million books.
This is my cap 3,000, and
like I
got to wait till next year.
It's like, bro, I read like 3,000 books this year.
Yeah.
Or I read 3,000 fucking pieces of literature.
He's talking about when he was a fucking not a toddler. A fucking infant.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, Anthony Jeselnik said the same shit. He's like, I don't buy that he read all those books. He may have read a good quantity, especially if they were like children's books. Mm-hmm. But I don't doubt that he's very well educated because he's very well spoken. Katt Williams is fucking like that interview. Like he drove that interview. He was like. Shay had to keep like
Shannon Sharpe.
Like, I gotta go to the next card, man. Like,
Shannon Sharpe barely even asked the question. He's like, "Well, what do you mean, man?"
He's like, "Well, have you ever been married?"
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you talking about, dude?" He's like, "We're on." Like he would switch the subject on a dime.
Yep.
Because he had cue cards. He's like, "I'm gonna drive this interview. It's my show," and it's Katt Williams like, "Nope, truth is coming out."
Yeah.
2024. He's like, all the liars are gonna be exposed.
Yes, sir. That part was awesome, dude. Yeah. And it's just crazy sitting there listening to it and just being like, man, like, and then thinking like like I said, the Kevin Hart part really got to me. I'm like, man, he's right, dude. Like,
yeah,
like he didn't. I mean, unless we don't know. Like, I don't know the East Coast scene. He could have been fucking blown up in Philadelphia. Because that's where he's from. Yeah. And he could have had a big Philly scene or like Philly, New York, Boston.
Following?
Like East Coast where like he didn't go out to the West Coast because he just kept on working the comedy clubs there and just stayed close to home. You do Philly.
But the East Coast is like New York.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You do like Philly, Boston, New York, maybe Baltimore.
Yeah.
And what's another big?
Here's the thing, though. Okay, so
I'm just trying to think of like big East Coast cities that he could have probably just had his own following there, and then he got into acting, and that's when they're like, oh, this guy's special. We got to blow him up, and we'll say that he fucking sold out the Comedy Store, even though he's never played at the Comedy Store, and we'll just say he did.
Yeah. But they did debunk a couple of things that Katt said, like he was never there, blah blah, and then they showed pictures of the year, and like Cedric the Entertainer was there too, and they were like, so like not everything was 100%, but like the interview as a whole is entertaining.
Well, I mean, see, you don't think that he like? Of course, he's going to exaggerate.
Right.
You know, he has to exaggerate to play his part of it. You know,
Right.
so I was just like, I don't know, it was crazy, dude, and.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, you expected, like, oh, he's going to come on, he's going to be funny, and he's going to talk shit. But no, he just drove it, and he was like, everything's coming out.
Well, and that's the thing, dude. It's just that now there's so many different platforms, and just like people have this. There's a lot more freedom now.
Yeah.
Like people are like and people like Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle and other people can say other like the shit that they weren't allowed to say back then because hey man, you can end up fucking dead somewhere and they'll say you had a drug overdose or something. Yeah. Now you put that shit out there, and it's like fuck, it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
So now if something happens to them, everybody's gonna be like, oh, there's some bullshit going on here. Like oh.
Well, it's like what happened with Prince and Michael Jackson. They were like exposing the music industry, and then all of a sudden, like Prince was a healthy dude. Like that dude took care of himself.
Yeah.
He was like, believe it or not, he was an athlete.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He used to play played basketball, and he was really good. Like he kicked the shit out of Charlie Murphy, who was a Navy.
Dude, the fucked up thing about Prince is that he didn't have a will, dude. Because that dude, they fucking chopped up his estate like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. And then,
but I mean, I'm sure he probably wasn't planning on fucking dying.
Right. Exactly.
But you still should have a will,
Well,
and then your fucking Michael Jackson, your doctor shoots you up with drugs and he gives you too much. Yeah. It's like he's your fucking doctor, dude. Like that should be the one dude you should be dependent on the most to give you the right dosage of your drugs.
But like I said, again, they were starting to expose things.
But there's a lot of people that think he ain't really dead.
Who, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson. I mean, it's a everything's a possibility.
You think he's just hiding out there doing the
But you think, well, but like if you think about it, the dude, since he was 8 years old, has never had privacy.
Right.
Why wouldn't you fake your fucking death so that you could finally live in peace?
Well, it's one of those things that's funny is
like what, like no, but here, like what if if you had an unlimited amount of money, because he does.
Yeah.
And you've been a star and in the spotlight since you were 8 years old, and now you're like 52, and you have kids who are all weird and shit, but they're older, and you're just like, man, I just
need to get away.
I just want to live in peace and not have fucking people taking pictures of me and asking me questions. Because then that documentary came out about him, playing with little babies' buttholes and stuff, like all that shit came out. It's like wouldn't you want to be able to just be like, you know what? I want to go away and not be bothered, and just fucking hide out. And he could have had some fucking compound built somewhere where he's just fucking chilling, and he just sits there, and his kids know where he's at.
Well, let's see.
And his kids would be like, all right, we'll call you, whatever, but like we won't come see you until whatever.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Have more plastic surgery done so nobody recognizes you.
Well, yeah.
Again.
Yeah. But I could feel that being a possibility.
True.
Of him faking his death to do that shit.
So here's the thing. With like the last episode, we had Epstein list.
Yeah, like Elvis. I can see Elvis faking his death too.
But Michael Jackson's name wasn't on that list. And that would have been paradise for him.
Oh, yeah.
If he actually did that. And it's like, I saw this meme where it's like, the world owes Michael Jackson an apology. Because they're like, he was the one name that was expected to be on there, and it hasn't popped up.
Yeah.
Because that's the one place that he would have been able to do that shit and get away with it at that time.
The one thing that I'm not defending Michael Jackson. If he did whatever he did, okay, he did it. But my thing is that he was never allowed to grow up.
Yeah.
He was never allowed to grow up. So I feel like for the majority of his life, dude,
Adult life.
a majority of his adult life, he still had the mentality of a child.
Yeah.
Because he never had a chance to be a kid.
Well, it's kind of like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was like,
when you never have
Home Alone.
When you never have a chance to be a kid, to then grow up somewhat normally.
Mm.
Like, you could be famous and grow up and be normal-ish, you know, but, like, I feel like he never had that. Because his dad beat the fuck out of him all the time. And it was always, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. So, all right. So, in a way... Oh, God, this is going to come out wrong.
Well, you're not justifying
No,
it.
I'm not justifying
like, if he did
but here, all right, I could say, in a way, I understand why he would be attracted to kids. Because he never had a chance to grow up.
That did come out.
Like, but you know what I'm talking about? But like with his mental state of being... Like when he bought Neverland, did all that shit at Neverland with all the roller coasters and the games and the animals and shit, because that's what he wanted, because he never had it as a kid, right? So if you think about it,
he was living out the rich life.
But he was living out the childhood that he wanted, but he was an adult,
right?
So now, like, that right there shows you that, dude, this man has a mentality of a child. So what would happen? Aside from, you know, being married to Lisa Marie Presley and having the kids that he had, he's like, he might have had a mental illness, where he was still
like a body dysmorphia, where he's fucking
he still thinks he's a child and he's a man. Now, I'm not justifying that in any way, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, it's never actually been proven that he did anything.
No, I know.
The one kid that he did that was dying or whatever.
Yeah.
Chappelle talked about it on his video. He's like, every time I see you, you get better, motherfucker.
Yeah. But I just look at it like I wouldn't say that I understand it. I don't understand it, because I would never, but I could see it with him having that mentality.
Right.
That he would be like, "Oh, I want to be around children."
Yeah.
Why?
Because
I never got to be a kid. I never got to feel what joy was as a child.
And maybe his interests align with more of a kid's interest than like adults who are just like, hey, Mike, we need you to sign this contract to do these 20 million songs for the next album.
He's like, damn, dude, I just want to play tag. Yeah. You know what I used to love? I used to love playing tag, but I haven't played it in 20 years because my dad punched me in the face the one time I said to my brother, "You're it."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, you stop." You know, like,
go write a song.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm not doing ABC anymore.
I'm not justifying any of the allegations. All I'm saying is that it's understandable that he would have a mentality of a child, and he would want to be around children.
It's like the Kanye thing. It's like they got illnesses, and you don't address them.
Yeah,
they're gonna because they're more like, I guarantee you, the music industry is more interested. Like, they don't care about their mental health. They're like, can you sing and can you pop out this song in the next 10 minutes?
Yep.
But
they get paid like shit too, dude.
Yeah,
they get paid even worse than actors.
Well, Snoop broke it down in one of the interviews about Michael Jackson. I think Mariah Carey too. How much of a CD do you think goes into their pocket?
Yep.
Like, out of the $20
dude,
you pay for a CD.
There was one. Was it TLC? It was TLC or Salt and Pepper broke it down to where they made like $1.67 per album sold.
Yeah, and then that's why Prince changes his name to the artist.
Yeah.
Because Dave Chappelle broke it down.
Well, dude, and that's
all that shit's out there.
But then you got bands and groups who do the independent shit as much as they can.
Yeah.
Where they're like, no, we're gonna reap our own. We're gonna take all our own profits, dude.
Well, that's what I guys watch. Like, they're criticizing Taylor Swift because all her shit was coming out like remastered, but she was putting it out under her label.
Yes, yeah, she redid it all for her.
Like, now she gets all the fucking money.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes from that point of view. Yeah, because I'm the artist. I'm putting in the work. You guys are just paper pushers. You know, I'm doing the concerts. I'm doing the tours and all this other crap.
Yeah, because at one point, if you don't own the rights to your own shit, and then you have to get the rights to your own shit.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Katt Williams.
Well, Katt's a different breed for sure.
Oh yeah, dude.
I love the guy. Respect to him for what he did. And I was watching. I started following Gary Owen on TikTok.
Oh, dude, I love Gary
Owen, and he
when he brought him up too.
Yeah, he's like, he hasn't sold his soul yet.
Yeah.
And Gary Owen. He said he was like he had the interview on and he was just like kind of listening to it and he was doing other shit in his house. And then he heard his name. He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't want to like rewind it because he was watching it live or whatever. But dude, I said, dude, that's the Bearcat.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie? What is it? College.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a shitty movie.
Dude, I loved when he brought him up. He goes, "Man, that's why Gary Owen hasn't made it yet because he hasn't sold his soul."
He was like, "What? I don't know if he's dissing me or
No, he was giving him props, dude.
Yeah. But I think Gary Owen's made it. He's like not super famous, but he's famous enough to like where he gets around by word of mouth kind of deal. Like, I think his shit's funny.
Oh, dude, like, all right, he's funnier. All right, so the people that are in this interview: Cedric the Entertainer, Faison Love, Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, Ludacris, all these fucking dudes. Gary Owen's funnier than all of them.
Yeah, he is.
Like I love when
Owen,
he talks about Black Church.
Well, if you got to watch some of Gary Owen shit on TikTok, where he talks about how he was on the Steve Harvey show and they blackballed him so hard. Dude, you got to watch that.
Okay.
It's good. Because he's not really dissing. Because he's like, I didn't want to go to Steve and like cry to him about all the shit the execs were doing to me. But he's like they did him dirty, dude. And like I think that delayed his career.
Yeah. Because
he was like trying to bring up fun. Because like Steve Harvey's like, hey, come with me, and Steve Harvey's probably like, I'm just gonna steal your shit too. But like they like just kept him like you're just gonna be in the back burner.
You're a white dude married to a black chick. We gotta steal your shit, dude.
Yeah. So he was like he was the voice for the Steve Harvey show. Like, Steve Harvey. He did all that shit. He wrote skits, and they never put him in.
Well, it makes
shit
sense.
Like that. Like he said, he was on there for like I want to say like 2 months, and then he was like, I'm out because he was doing stand up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, dude, I can't be working on the weekends over here where I'm not even guaranteed a spot because you guys keep doing the shit to me, and I'm missing out on doing weekend gigs.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch it. It's good. And I watched him because he popped up on the Cat thing, and I was like, "Oh, Gary Owen, dude, I forgot about it. Gary Owen's fucking funny."
I love Gary Owen, dude.
Dude, he's fucking hilarious.
Yes, when he's like, "Man, we're going to Black Church." It's like we're sitting there, and you think it's over, and then like 9.5 hours later.
Dude, I gotta go back and watch fucking College. That movie's bad, but he brings that movie to life, dude. He's the Bearcat, and they had the dudes from The Whitest Kids You Know in there, except for the one that died. Dude, that movie's fucking funny. They're fucking paintballing freshmen. And he takes the biggest shits in the house.
So closing this one out, bro.
Yes. Thoughts?
What do you think? Like I think that I'll go with about like 80% of it's true.
I would say 85. Yeah. I'm right around there.
Because I feel like too much of that shit makes so much sense.
Well, like you said, a lot of it's probably like exaggerated. But if you look at what he said, and then you go back and see what other dudes like, there's other people that have complained about Steve Harvey stealing shit, and he says that you're like, okay, so he's telling the truth about that. And then there's shit that you just see like, Faison Love, not that funny, that never had a special or what have you, or it was cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
Earthquake, all these other dudes. It's like 80%, 85% of what he said is factual.
All right. The only thing I liked about Cedric the Entertainer, Barbershop.
Never saw it.
You never saw the Barbershop movies?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the only.
But see, here's the thing. I don't find Cedric the Entertainer that funny.
No. But those are the only. But the Barbershop had a whole bunch of other people in it.
You know, the only Barbershop dudes that I liked was the dudes from Coming to America, where it was Eddie Murphy dressed up as.
It was Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall.
Right.
Dude,
yeah. Those dudes are fucking funny.
Well, yeah. But see, but now you're getting into the 80s, dude. The 80s was a whole different thing, and you're talking about coked up Eddie Murphy.
Raw Eddie Murphy?
All right, Eddie Murphy on drugs is way more funnier than Eddie Murphy no drugs.
With the red leather suit?
Yes, dude. Eddie Murphy raw, dude. I was
rocking the Tito.
I was 4 years old, and my parents were watching it, and they thought I was sleeping. and he's telling some fucked up, nasty jokes, and I'm in the corner going,
Just giggling.
and they're like, "What? He should know what that means." And I'm 4 years old, laughing my ass off, dude.
True.
But the '80s when it came, like, dude, all the Beverly Hills Cop movies, which there's another one coming out.
Yeah,
he's doing a new one.
Yeah,
but I mean, but like,
did you see the thing about how they're like, he's still gonna be wearing that raggedy ass jacket 20 years later?
Dude, we're almost.
And they were trying to.
No,
almost there.
look, we're almost there.
Yep.
Woo! Thank God.
When they were talking about that movie, he said, like, I think it was one of those.
With that Lions jacket.
The Lions jacket, and they're like, they asked him like, "Can you grow your hair?" He's like, "What do you mean? Can I grow my hair?" He's like, "Dude, I'm fucking like, no."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm gonna look the same as I did when I was fucking 20."
Nope.
So
he still looks like he's in good shape though.
No, he doesn't. Like, he looked like he's aged very well.
Oh yeah,
very, very well.
Well, Katt Williams,
we love you, Katt.
Yep, and I believe that I believe you more than the other guys.
True.
So, on that note, we're having almost the end of our 1800 cucumber and jalapeno tequila.
Pepino jalapeno.
Pepino jalapeno.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 2024, all liars will be exposed.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Katt. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.